What's up, everybody? Very sad couple of days it's been. You can see, proudly wearing my Mastodon shirt in honor of Brent Hinds, who passed away a couple of days ago. And that's pretty much what inspired me to do this video today. You'll have to excuse me if I'm a little less enthusiastic than usual, but this one really fucking hit hard. This one really did. What I've decided for this video is essentially I'm going to list 10 guitar players that, in my opinion, are the complete package. Now, I'm going to do another list at some point for like my favourite riff masters, so like Hetfield and Max Cavalera, etc. They won't be appearing on this list, not because I don't think they're incredible guitar players, but because this list is more going to be the complete package. Like I said, this is guitarists who are not only capable of delivering the riffs with which there is no fucking song when it comes to metal. You need to have those meat and potatoes riffs that hit you like a sledgehammer and make you want to move. But they can also deliver the shred. Touch of melody here and there, touch of the acoustic as well. So this is in my opinion 10 well-rounded guitar players that I love. These are guitar heroes that I've admired over the years. Now, I was actually going to play some guitar myself to sort of demonstrate some of their riffs, but with all the shit that Rick Beato is going through with all this copyright crap at the moment, it's just not something I wanted to get into. So I will be doing that soon now. But anyway, the first on my list, this is going to be absolutely no surprise to nobody, because you know how much I absolutely adore this band, and of course it's Brent Hinds. So I will be getting into the other 9 players after this, but I'm going to use this as a bit of a time to reflect and pay tribute, I guess, to Brent Hinds, because, damn, in my mind, he was such a huge part of what made Mastodon great. Now, there's been all sorts of talk over the months since he was kicked out of the band, as like, well, he hasn't been in the band for years and hasn't really contributed that much. And I think you're right. And to be quite honest, the albums that featured him most are without a shadow of a doubt my favourite. Those first 4 albums and the EP, the beginning, you know, when it was all 4 of them just really in it together and really just, that was a magical band. And I still love Mastodon. I still love the last 4 albums, but less so. But yeah, my favourite element of Mastodon, to be quite honest, was Brent. I'm well aware what a crazy fucker he was. I actually remember seeing him. I went to see them it would probably in 2009, 2010 on the Crack the Skies tour. I remember seeing him in Bristol, and the pub that me and my friend were drinking at, he was in. He was just leaving as we were getting there, and he was trying to cross the road, and he was just waving this lighter, sort of like, you know, trying to warn the guy who was driving towards him to stop. He's like, "Ooh." Just being a crazy drunken Brent. But anyway, we're here to talk about his guitar playing. What an absolute phenomenal guitar player he was. Doesn't it feel fucking horrible to talk about him in the past tense? I put out a short after he died, so I just had to say something. And somebody actually made a comment that, you know, this one hurts as much as Ozzy. And I actually kind of agree. It kind of does. He also went on to say as well that, you know, at least Ozzy kind of had a fairy tale ending. You know, he got his final gig. He got to sort of, you know, get the appreciation of everybody at the end. Whereas Brent, I don't know, man, it just seemed like his last months just seemed to get darker and darker. Although he did seem like he was putting some good stuff together with his music. So, I don't know, difficult times. But anyway, his guitar playing. I remember back in the early 2000s, this was the tail end of nu metal that was sort of starting to fade out. And I was listening to a lot of stuff like Rammstein at the time. I've already listened to a lot of complex music. I was still listening to a lot of complex music, but it was sort of more the older stuff. In regards to the new music that was coming out, I was kind of getting bored of guitar music because it's like there was just nothing that was really interesting me. And I remember seeing this interview in Kerrang with Mastodon, or should I say more specifically, I saw the cover of Kerrang with Mastodon on the front, and right smack bang in the middle was this red-headed, crazy-looking motherfucker with long hair and a massive red beard, who of course was Brent Hinds, and I just immediately was like, I've got to check this band out. And I got the Leviathan album shortly after it was released, and I've been a fan ever since. That album absolutely blew me away. The guitar work between Brent and Bill, of course, Bronze, amazing drum fills. Troy is a very underrated vocalist, I think. I know there's all sorts of talk of them playing live, the vocals live, and they've never really been able to do it live that well. But on the album, in studio, sounds great to me. So yeah, I listened to Leviathan and I got absolutely obsessed with it. Of course, Blood and Thunder, I Am Ahab. I was like that. I remember hearing that for the first time. I was like, oh, whoa. I hadn't heard anything like that at the time. Just these weird little, rhythms, melodies that come out with. Sea Beast blew me away. I love that creepy intro, and then the outro riff is just fucking legendary. Oh, God. And you got stuff like Iron Tusk, Megalodon, fucking Hearts Alive, one absolute masterpiece of a song that is. Just this it's probably more like 13, 14 minute epic. And Brent just delivers a fucking kick-ass solo at the end of it. And of course, got is it Jonathan Merrick or Joseph Merrick? I can't remember. Beautiful acoustic piece. I was just blown away. It made me want to pick up guitar again. Because I'd been completely uninspired up until that point. And as soon as I heard that album, I was just like, oh my God, I want to learn how to play this stuff. Absolutely phenomenal. Fucking love it. He had a style all of his own. Now, Bill Kelleher is very much the Hetfield of the band. He's the real tight player, the precise Hetfieldian rhythm sort of style of it. You know what I mean? He's the one who kind of really rooted everything down. But Brent had this crazy loose style all of his own, had that chicken picking element. He started out on banjo first. I think his dad, he wanted to play guitar and his dad made him learn banjo first for some reason, which he obviously then incorporated into his playing. And, everybody knows hearing that Megalodon moment, where the riffs are kicking in and then suddenly it all breaks down and Brent just goes into that weird chicken picking piece. It's just like, oh my God, so damn good. Phenomenal talent, phenomenal guitar player. Very troubled, which no doubt led to his creativity, I'm sure, Does seem to often be the people who are that most, the most sensitive and going through the most, who, I don't know, maybe they've just got more to express because they've got so much going on in them that they need to get out. And it just fucking saddens me, man. I mean, I could go on about every single one of their albums. Of course, Crack the Sky's a fucking masterpiece. Blood Mountain is very underrated in my opinion. I think it's fucking up there as well. I love that album. I was listening to, I've been listening to a lot of Mastodon all day. And of course, the final track on the last album is Gigantium, which features one of Brent's most expressive solos. And damn, I'm going to miss him. I really am going to miss him. I'm very much curious to see what Mastodon do now. Obviously, I can't even remember the new guy's name, no disrespect to him. There is a part of me that kind of wasn't interested. Mastodon without Brent Hinds, to me, is, that's something I don't know. I don't know if I get that. I don't know if I do. Of course, I'll check out the new album, and I hope it's great. And I have enjoyed a lot of the stuff that hasn't involved Brent as much, but God damn, he was such a huge part of that band. What a personality. Crazy fucker, I'm sure he wasn't easy to be around. I know plenty of fucking alcoholics myself, trust me. And they're not fucking easy to be around. I know that. But what a talent, and he's gone. Fucking sucks. Rest in peace, Brent. Your music and your guitar playing has... it's been a constant in my life for the last 20 years. 20 plus years now. And it just sucks that we're never going to hear any new material from you. So, fuck, man. Absolutely sucks. Really, really does. So obviously my number one pick for this was Brent Hinds. Without sad news, phenomenal rhythm player, phenomenal soloist, phenomenal artist in general. But moving on now to other bands and other guitar players. My next pick is from Carcass, and it's Bill Steer. Not only a phenomenal guitar player, but an incredibly underrated guitar player, in my opinion. Now, not only this what I love so much about Bill Steer's playing, he's capable of bringing the real technical riffs, those real, you know, how the fuck do you play those riffs, along with a kind of bluesy looseness. There's a greasiness to his playing, which I mean in total respect. It's, you know, it's this, you know, again, just this really technical riffing, but it has just a loose feel to it that's just so satisfying to me. And his solos are just amazing as well. They're so tastefully done. You know what I mean? It's not just wankery for the sake of it. They're so, his note choices, his melody, he knows when to tear it up, he knows when to bring it back, you know, he knows when to come in with a meat and potatoes riff. Phenomenal guitar player, love Bill Steer, and fucking love Carcass. Next pick is an all-rounder, there's no way I couldn't include this, and it's Tony Iommi. Fucking come on. You cannot question the riff lord, the riff lord. How many great riffs did Iommi come up with? Inspired so many people to pick up the guitar, inspired so many of the riff lords that we all love to do their thing. And not only that, a tasty goddamn lead player as well. Old school, you know? Just here, you know, something like Planet Caravan. You got that beautiful acoustic guitar piece going on, and then he just comes in with that beautiful solo at the end, you know, stuff like in War Pigs, or thought there were birds following me. Again, just a tasteful player, you know, a lot of his leads weren't overdone or anything like that. They just served the song. That's what I love so much about some of these guitar players. You know, you got these bands that just overdo everything and just trying to put in as many notes as they can. I like a lot of shredders, but there's a soul element that's just missing from so many of them. It just doesn't move me, you know what I mean? I mean, Tony Iommi, not only the riff lord, but like I said, he just tastefully does those leads, overcomes so much as well. He lost his fingertips, for fuck's sake. That's a pretty important thing for a guitar player. You know? Most people were giving up at that point, but he just kept on going and found new ways to do it, invented a new style, and it was, well, genres. Fucking love Tony Iommi. Come on, the full package. Did that sound wrong? Next up, we got a death metal pick, and it's Trey Azagthoth. Now, I was very tempted to go with Chuck Schuldiner. Obviously, many consider to be the daddy of death metal, the guy who created it all, or at least what we know as death metal. But in my humble opinion, I've always thought that Trey was more of the well-rounded player. I mean, just look at something like Where the Slime Live. You've got those disgustingly heavy riffs, but you got those crazy little solos going on as well. And you've got Fall from Grace from the underrated Blessed of the Sick album. I really enjoy that album myself. I love that slow, dirgy riff at the beginning, and it goes into those crazy... And again, you got those tasteful lead playing. I think what separates Trey from somebody like Kerry King, because I think, you know, upon first listen, you could dismiss a lot of what he was doing as that kind of dive bombing, tremolo arm stuff that Kerry King and Jeff Hanneman did. But there's a real musicality to it. There was a melody. There was a... Yeah, it was musical. It served the song. And I think because of that, he deserves on this list. And it's for those exact reasons as well that Kerry King and Jeff Hanneman aren't on this list. You know, I mean, I fucking love Slayer and undeniably some amazing riffs, but they could not solo for shit. Okay, next one, we're, you know, descending from the heavy a little bit. There's no way I couldn't include him. It's Brian May. Queen are an incredibly important band to me, and Brian May is just such... He's written so many great riffs, so many great songs. He has a completely distinctive tone. He built his own guitar. He built his own guitar. from a fucking fireplace. Do you know what I mean? The Red Special. Yeah, distinctive tone, great riffs, great rhythms, and a genuinely fantastic lead player. You know, I think something that I always loved about Brian's playing was, you know, you can hum the leads. You know what I mean? He's probably one of those guitar players that a lot of people actually know the leads to. You know what I mean? Of course, Bohemian Rhapsody is probably the most obvious one, but oh my God, can't have one of my videos without a burpee pop. Yeah, Brian May, he was my first guitar hero, so there's no way I couldn't not include him on this list. Incredible player. Next up, another obvious one, it's Dimebag Darrell. How many great riffs did he come up with? He's a player that I've kind of appreciated more as I've gotten older in many ways. You know, whenever I listen to something like Cemetery Gates now, listen to the lead playing and that's like, oh my God. Much like Bill Steer again had that kind of, that real fluidity, that looseness to his playing. It's very difficult to replicate. That's kind of just in the fingers, you know. It's, again, some pretty technical stuff going on there, but just makes it sound so loose and just bluesy. And yeah, no way I couldn't include Dimebag on this list. He had the riffs, he had the leads. My next pick for a great all-rounder, it's Devin Townsend. I know there are a lot of people who watch his channel who don't like Devin Townsend, but I do. I think he's a very emotional writer. I know there's been a few people who've said about how they find him very fake. I don't find that at all. I think he can convey emotion so well. And he's an incredibly expressive guitar player as well. He's come out with some great riffs over the years. Real great rhythm player. Can do very technical riffs as well, but some of his solos are just absolutely insane. Was it Wrong Side? There's footage of him playing a download where he's doing the sweep arpeggio piece while he's singing. There aren't many guitar players who can do that. It's absolutely fucking insane. Yeah, great riffs, great lead, great tone. I love his ambient tone as well, you know. Delay into reverb into delay, I believe. And yeah, fucking love Devin Townsend. Incredible guitar player. This one might get some people saying, no, I don't agree with that, but I fucking do. It's Matt Pike. Sleep, High on Fire, The Automaton, sledgehammer riffs. I mean, truly dirty, nasty riffs. But he has these really crazy frenetic solos. Now they're not as fluid as say Dimebag or Bill Steer or someone like that. They've definitely got more of a jagged edge to them. Some of them veer on the crazy Kerry King kind of, you know, is it really that good a solo? But I think some of his solos are fucking great. Is it Fertile Green? God damn. Got that crazy solo section that then goes into I could go on. Maybe some of you will disagree with me, but yeah, Matt Pike, very underrated guitar player in my opinion. And sledgehammer riffs, but also goddamn brings the leads, and he fucking sings. Well, he grunts. He's the Lemmy of our generation in many ways, but yeah, Matt Pike for me goes on this list. Fuck you. My next pick is another one that might cause a few upsets, and especially as I included this band on last week's video, which was bands that I used to love but now hate. I don't hate any of them. You all know that by now with me. But it's Mark Morton from Lamb of God. Incredible guitar player. I mean, goddamn, he's written some tasty riffs over the years, but his lead playing is just fucking phenomenal as well. His solo in Walk With Me in Hell is just such a tasty solo, man. Really is. Again, another one with that sort of fluid, bluesy vibe to his playing. Now, Willie Adler is also a fantastic player, but by his own admission, seeing it in a lot of the documentaries, when it comes to the lead stuff, I think he was somewhat in awe of what Mark was doing. I think overall Mark is just the more well-rounded player. Just checking I got my keys. I suspect a lot of people will disagree with this one, but I'm sticking with it. Mark Morton. I mean, I bought his signature guitar, the Dominion, the Jackson Dominion. Incredible guitar as well, by the way. But yeah, phenomenal player, amazing guitar player. And my final pick, and this gives me an excuse to finally heap some real praise on somebody that I've given a lot of shit to on this channel, and it's Dave Mustaine. Undeniable guitar talent, you know. I talk shit about some of his later songwriting. I talk shit about him as a person. I talk shit about his vocals. But as a guitar player, I've always respected the man. Come up with so many techniques that we now just take for granted in metal. Incredible rhythms, incredible rhythm playing that most people would find, you know, a lot of lead players would find some of his rhythms difficult to play, the precise nature of them. And he's no fucking slouch when it comes to the lead work either. Great player. Like I said, I've given him quite a hard time over the year on this channel, but man, when it comes to his guitar playing, nothing but respect for Dave Mustaine. Incredible. So that's my 10 picks for you. I apologise if this one has been a bit more downbeat. I kind of wasn't going to do a video this week. And then I was like, well, do I do a video that's just a tribute to Brent and do it that way? But, you know, I don't know. I kind of always feel a bit uncomfortable doing those ones. So I kind of figured that this was it's something that I've wanted to do for a long time anyway, the guitar stuff. And the guitar content is something that I intend to do in the future. Like I said, there's a whole lot of shit going on YouTube at the moment in regards to like copyright stuff. For any of you who don't know Rick Beato, he's a fantastic YouTuber who breaks down songs, and he's had a ton of shit with copyright strikes from a Universal Music Group. And he's battling a lot of it with his lawyers at the moment. There's all sorts of shit going on. So for the time being, I think I'm going to kind of settle back and see how that plays out for a bit. Because his channel is actually in danger of being taken down at the moment. You know, if you get those copyright strikes, you know, that's it. You're done and dusted. The guy's got like 5 million viewers as well. So 5 million subscribers. That's quite a channel to lose. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, my final bit, no awkward outro this week. Just rest in peace, rest in power. Brent Hinds, phenomenal guitar player, phenomenal musician, phenomenal songwriter whose music has meant a ton to me over the years. And it really saddens me that I'm not going to, you know, I've still got those, you know, we've still got those classic albums though. Do you know what I mean? So, fuck's sake. Ozzy, now Brent. What a fucking shit one, eh? Suppose we should live our lives, really, shouldn't we? Because it is short. So I think I'll leave you with that. Rest in peace, Brent.